Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a very cold and very wet Salisbury, where we're preparing for a very, very big game between Salisbury and Weymouth. Both teams are in the hunt for the Southern Premier League Championship. Both teams are in decent form, and Salisbury's formidable home form is going to be a very difficult one for the Terrors to overcome this afternoon. Let me start with the two teams for you. For our host Salisbury, Hallett in goal, Wheeler, Sparks, Whelan, Bosma, Partridge, Benson, Dawson, Fitchett, Mullings and Young. On the bench for Salisbury, Herbert, Hopper, Hilson, Somerton and Beeden. For the Terrors, McHale in goal. He's returned to the squad, having rejoined from Elgin City on Friday. Jordan Agallo jumps in at left back. Baggy, Brooks, Zubar, McCarthy, Murray, Wakefield, Thompson, Goodship and Odobade. On the bench for the Terrors, Baker, Carmichael, Wells, Thomas and Buckley. We're about ready to get underway here in the Southern Premier League. It's the Terrors in their traditional home kit getting us underway from going to be playing from right to left in this first half. The rain has held off for the time being, but I'm sure at some point this afternoon it's going to get wet and it's going to be horrible, and Weymouth and Salisbury are both going to have to do really well to cope with the conditions. Weymouth giving the ball away early there, and Salisbury trying to come around the right hand side, and Garlow facing him all the way and puts the ball out for a throw in. Behind the goal, away to the right there is where the Weymouth fans are situated. It is of course segregated this afternoon. Big crowd here in Salisbury, and of course former Terrors player and manager Steve Claridge is in charge of Salisbury, and he's doing quite a good job at the moment, but you'll bet your bottom dollar that Weymouth are really going to want to put one over their old manager this afternoon. They're trying to get going on the right hand side. It's hooked clear though by the Salisbury player, and there's offside, and Weymouth are going to have a free kick. And you can hear the Weymouth fans singing away behind the goal, away to our right at the moment. Cam Murray's come short to take that free kick from Zubar and gives it straight back to Stefan Zubar, then has it again. And Weymouth are going to try and build for their own centre-half position. Salisbury's defensive shape though is very good, and they're almost like a 4-4-2 they're operating in at the moment. Played into the feet of Thompson. He spins away from one. He had Goodship going with him, but he couldn't make anything of it. It goes back in the halfway line. Wakefield tries to recover. He can't, but Murray can, and now Weymouth coming forward with Brooks on the right-hand side. Laid off to Odobade. Odobade had nowhere to go, and he has to turn back on himself. And now Weymouth in the centre of the pitch. Goodship wants it to his feet and gets it to his feet. Here he comes and switches the ball out towards Baggy on the left hand side. Here comes Garlow going round him. Baggy uses that as diversion, goes in, then out, and gets it onto his left foot, hooks it in towards the penalty area, headed back up in the air. Goodship thought about a volley, couldn't quite get it under control, and Salisbury managed to hook clear, and Abdullah Baggy's going to pick it up again in the middle of the park. He manages to evade two challenges, and Wakefield then hooks the ball out towards Odobade on the right hand side, who can't control it, and that's going to go straight out for a throw into Salisbury midway inside their own half. And again, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank you again for joining us on these Take Two features. They were very, very successful a little while ago, and we've decided to bring them back, so it gives the Terrors fans, or even the Salisbury fans, a chance to watch a game and enjoy their club and enjoy the football that they're missing so much at the moment. We do remind you though that health does come first, and it's more important to miss football for a little while than to miss loved ones and things like that, so please keep following the government guidelines and staying safe. Salisbury have another throw in midway inside their own half. Weymouth do really well to recycle the ball though, and then played in towards the edge of the penalty area. They've had to come back on themselves through Thompson. Bundled out of it eventually, loose ball in the middle of the pitch, and Weymouth trying to recover it, and they do with a neat little back heel. Wakefield's not going to get the end of that though, and Salisbury are going to be able to tidy up and do. Picked up in the middle of the field again from Salisbury, and hooked out towards the left hand side. That's an aimless ball though, and it's going to go straight out for a throw-in. Weymouth with a bit of a tentative start to this game. Both teams just trying to feel each other out. They don't want to make a mistake at the moment. Stefan Zubar bringing the ball out of his own final third with no real pressure until he approaches the Salisbury player, and then it goes back to Tom McHale. Tom McHale squares it, and Weymouth are going to bring it again forward from their own 18-yard box. Good ball out in towards Ngarlo. Ngarlo takes it and then plays infield towards Goodship. Goodship evades one challenge, then he puts straight under pressure, goes back towards Wakefield, and now Weymouth is starting to move the ball with a little bit of confidence, although Brandon Goodship still holding his right leg after that challenge there where the ball ran away from him slightly. He's still Looks like he's struggling slightly, but he's, again, now finally running normally in towards Thompson, then lay forward in towards the corner penalty area, and that's going to be a free kick. Unlucky, I think the Salisbury player just felt the contact and just went down the edge of the box. And Salisbury are going to have a free kick, and the tentative start to this game continues. Look at the shape of the two teams. They're both set up to deal with long balls in the air, and as the weather continues to deteriorate this afternoon, you imagine that the balls are going to start holding up, and Wakefield does get on the end of that one, but can only head it backwards. And then Weymouth again managed to recycle the ball and then bring it away, and then hooked long and forward and straight over the touchline and out for another throw-in. A very slow start this afternoon. There's obviously both teams still in the title race. Both teams, certainly want to get promoted up to the National League South. Weymouth currently in pole position. A bit of head tennis in the middle of the field, and then eventually Wakefield heads it forward, but it finds just the head of another Salisbury player, who's then launched the ball over halfway. Weymouth just clear, but only as far as the Salisbury player. And neither team want to make a mistake early on, and it's good football being played by both sides. Good possession football, I should say. There's no real penetrative. There's no penetration. That's what I'm trying to say. Salisbury eventually do try and penetrate, and they get down the right hand side, and Ngala has to come and cover. I don't know if he's going to let that ball run out. In fact, he's just about got away with it, Jordan Ngala, and it's going to be a goal kick, and the Salisbury fans not overly happy with that decision. And a couple of Salisbury fans have just come down to the corner where the segregation is, and I think they're just trying to taunt some of the Weymouth fans. There's no covering on that away end as well incidentally, where the Weymouth fans are situated, so if the heavens do open later on, they are going to get very, very wet by the looks of things. McHale with a very big kick in towards Goodship. It's headed clear there. Back down towards the right hand side, can't control it, manages to keep it in just about. And he spins away from one challenge, but he can't get away from Cameron Murray, and he's going to bring Weymouth away. Weymouth just keeping the ball. Zubar has it midway inside his own half, lays it forward in towards the feet of Thompson. Thompson instantly put under pressure, and Weymouth win a throw in just before halfway. 5 or 10 yards inside the Salisbury half. The referee's not happy with where they wanted to take the throw in though, so they moved him back. And again, the Weymouth player just sneaks forward slightly, eventually throws it in towards the head of Thompson. He gets beaten in the air, and Weymouth are going to have another throw in a few yards further up the field. As I said, a very slow start to this afternoon so far. Adebayo manages to turn away, finds Goodship. Goodship gets it on a volley, gets it on target, and the goalkeeper just steps across and holds the ball at the second attempt, and he's managed to keep the ball out of his net, and Weymouth are going to have to try again. Puts the ball down, decides to clear with his feet, straight into the middle of the field. Wakefield challenging, manages to get his head to the ball just about, and there's going to be a foul given against the Salisbury City player, and Weymouth have a free kick. Again, the long diagonal out towards the wing, well taken by Adebayo, but it bounces back off the Salisbury player. Weymouth trying to keep it alive, and again the Salisbury player steps in and manages to put the ball out for a throw-in. Back in the middle of the field, Murray manages to spread the play out towards Goodship, and then Goodship feeds it out once more towards Abdoulaye Baggy, and Ngala thinks about going round him, but not yet. And in fact, Baggy decides to lay the ball back towards the feet of Ngala, who goes back in field towards Wakefield. Wakefield goes back across the centre of the field. Weymouth trying to build now on the right hand side. Poor touch that one. It's going to bounce back again, and he almost got away with it. And then he has won it back, and now Weymouth coming forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Thompson out towards Baggy, bit heavy. Baggy's touch manages to cut him back inside, then he tries to turn it around the corner towards the runner, Brandon Goodship, and it's cut out well by Salisbury, and now they move the ball out towards the right channel. McHale has to come out of his area and clear it back up the line and out for a throw-in. Good goalkeeping from Tom McHale, and a good idea for a counter-attack from Salisbury. They've got on with the throw-in quickly, they've got a little bit of room in the middle of the field. possibly a little bit too much space there. He wasn't quite sure what to do with it. He goes back to his fullback and then turns it again into the channel, giving chase. That's good attacking play from Salisbury, well held up by the defender, laid off, first time across the penalty area. It's a good header at the back post and just headed wide. That's unlucky. Good football from Salisbury. When they move the ball quickly, as they've just done there, they are very, very dangerous, Salisbury, and they can easily hit Weymouth on the counter-attack, and that was a very good example of it there. A little long and deep ball into the no-man zone for Tom McHale to come out and gather, and the header at the back post, he just couldn't steer on target, and Weymouth's first scare of the afternoon has come and gone. Good turn on the ball there on the right-hand side, and then he's fed the ball up the wing. I don't think Thompson's going to get on the end of that, but he's certainly not going to give up, and he touches it into the goalkeeper. Good defending from the Salisbury fullback. Hooked up in the air by the goalkeeper. Wakefield goes to challenge. It comes nicely for the Salisbury player, and he lays it back towards the centre half and then back to the goalkeeper. He manages to clear long up to halfway, and Garlo's underneath it. He's beaten in the air though. Good header from the Salisbury player. Good defending from Weymouth, and our Salisbury do manage to recycle possession in the middle of the field. Baggy's trying to put pressure on, doing really good work right there outside Baggy. He's still going. Excellent running from the Weymouth number 3 this afternoon. Fullback plays it out towards the wing and he follows his run on. Didn't want to hit the channel, and eventually they do hit the channel, and they've overhit this one. The fullback's not going to give up on it, but Tom McHale is simply going to come to the edge of his 18-yard box and gather up the ball, and Weymouth are going to be able to start again from their own final third. Patient build-up again from Weymouth, just going across their 18-yard line, then a long diagonal, and they've got some room on the right-hand side if they can get under control, which they can't quite do. That's unlucky. Good idea. The initial touch wasn't great, but the second one was worse really. As a result, the ball goes out for a throw-in. Salisbury just starting to settle now into possession, and they're just trying to probe and go from side to side, as we've seen Weymouth do many times. Eventually a long ball, again looking for the channel. There's no run there though, really. That's a waste from Salisbury. Just as I was praising that they're going into the game and starting to be more assured with their passing and more settled. The long ball goes astray over the top, out for a goal kick, and Weymouth breathe a sigh of relief, so to speak. Thinking about the short one, but he's decided instead to go long over the top. Salisbury doing a good job of keeping the defensive shape and stopping the short distributions. They win the ball back from the header, which is the plan. And again they're going to hit the ball down into the channel, and again they've got him behind, and Garland's gone to meet him. Baggy's just tucking in, and he's got an option behind him. There's a ball into the box, not as good as the last one before. McHale gathers it up. The Weymouth fans behind the goal are not overly happy with the challenge on Tom McHale, but he's not made a fuss of it really, and he just keeps the ball in his hands. The referee's got to have a quick word with the Salisbury player, but he hasn't stopped the game, and Weymouth can bring it forward from their left back position in the car. In towards Goodship, who's come deep again, and back out to Ngala. Weymouth are just going to try and probe again in towards Goodship, who's now travelled further up the field. He tried to use the outside of his foot to turn it around the corner towards Abdullah Baggy, but it was blocked by the Salisbury player, and then Salisbury managed to buy themselves a throw-in deep inside their own half. The fullback for Salisbury tries to take the throw-in about 15 yards further up the field, and the referee tells him to get back. It's thrown towards halfway, and Garlow heads clear. Bit of a mess of it, maybe clearing their lines here, Salisbury, and now Weymouth hunting in packs, and Garlow and Baggy between them managed to win the ball back, and now here's Goodship and a good opportunity to get forward, and he hooks it around the corner towards Thompson. Thompson gets there ahead of the goalkeeper, and he tries to turn it goalwards, and the goalkeeper comes out, makes himself big at his near post, and the ball bounces off the keeper and then back off of Ben Thompson and out for a goal kick. Really good defending and goalkeeping from Salisbury. Good football from Weymouth, and that's more of an idea of how they're going to try and penetrate this Salisbury City back line. Still 0-0 though in this huge game in Salisbury. Long goal kick, headed clear, and really well headed clear, but it's come back straight back out with him. Zubar gets up and a really good header, but over the head of Goodship, and Salisbury can't keep it in play, and it's going to be a throw into Weymouth just on halfway, or just before halfway. I'm sure they'll steal a couple of yards in the taking of the throw-in. But the slow start and the tentative start, we should say, has been almost exactly what we expected to see in this sort of game. Neither team wants to make a mistake. Neither team wants to come away with nothing from this game with so much left to play for in the Southern Premier League this season. Murray tries to move that forward. Thompson puts it under pressure instantly. Wakefield wins the ball back. Asks for a foul in the process. The referee says no, and Salisbury have it with their own centre halves and are going to try and come forward from left to right. They've got it on the left side at the moment. I think they're going to have to come inside. And they've gone for a very long diagonal. And Ngalo, I think, have just switched off positionally there, as Salisbury do have 3 men over now on the right hand side. Instead, they decided to cut in and back towards the fullback position, and that's allowed Weymouth to get back into their shape, and it's going to force Salisbury backwards. Move the ball out towards the fullback, then in a nice little triangle up towards the winger. Under pressure from Ngalo, we've managed to get to the byline. Ngalo's given up on it though, and it was hooked in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It was stabbed clear from Weymouth, and after Baggy's going to try and get the Terrors moving. A bit concerned Jordan Ngalo just gave up on that briefly there, just temporarily. But they've worked the ball back to McHale in the Weymouth goal and out towards Stefan Zubar at the edge of his 18-yard box. Zubar feeds it in towards the feet of Odebardo. Odebardo finds Goodchip. Goodchip's got Baggy on the left-hand side if he wants to use it. He's driving at the Salisbury defence though, and he's still going, Goodchip. And he gets to the edge of the 6-yard box, and he gets a shot on, and it goes into the back of the net, and it's a goal created purely from Brandon Goodchip's own making. The Weymouth fans behind the goal are celebrating. There's glum look on the Salisbury faces, but as Goodchip goes in one-on-one with the keeper, the same way that Ben Thompson did just a few minutes ago. This time though, the keeper can't keep it out. It bounces off his body, it drops into the corner of the net, and the Terrors lead. Salisbury 0, Weymouth 1. Excellent work from Brandon Goodchip. He had Abdullah Baggy down the left-hand side, and I thought he may have just decided to lay him in, but instead he decided to drive at the heart of the Salisbury back line. The goalkeeper came to meet him after a slightly heavy touch, but Goodchip expertly turned it in towards goal, and the keeper could do nothing about it. He gets a touch, but it drops into the back of the net, and this huge game has been turned on its head, really. It's Salisbury 0, Weymouth 1, and Weymouth will be absolutely delighted to have taken the lead. You thought Salisbury were just growing into the game and may have just started thinking about taking advantage and trying to get in behind a few more times, but Weymouth, they've soaked up the pressure and they've managed to get their noses in front, and they'll see now if they can hold on to it. I think Weymouth would be happy with a full-time whistle now. I know the fans behind the goal would, because they haven't got wet just yet, and as I said earlier, there's no covering on that away end. Here comes Salisbury trying to reply down the left-hand side though. Zubar giving battle, but Salisbury managed to win the ball back, but the referee's just spotted the flag's gone up, and it's going to be an offside and a free kick to the Terrors. It'll be very interesting how Salisbury respond. We know that Steve Claridge, when he sets his teams out, he's got very, very high standards, and he likes his teams to press, and he likes them to play football and score plenty of goals. Weymouth are certainly going to have to guard against any sort of complacency or things like that for the remainder of this game. There's a long, long way to go at the moment. As it stands though, they're 1-0 up. Goodchip's come deep again. He's laid it off towards McCarthy. McCarthy's then going to find Ngalo. Ngalo does really well to evade the challenge, and now he's moving down towards goal, in towards Thompson. Thompson finds Goodchip. Goodchip's going to have another strike from distance, and it's just gone wide. Excellent work from Brandon Goodchip. Excellent work from Jordan Ngalo. He skipped away from the challenge. He was driving forward. He had all the intent in the world. He finds Goodchip. Goodchip finds half a yard, and you half expect the net to bulge when Brandon Goodchip gets half a yard from the 18-yard area, but the ball goes just wide of the post, and Salisbury only remain a goal behind him. And we're still looking for that response for the first goal from Salisbury. We know they won't give up. We know they're a good side. Maybe they're just trying to control themselves. It's a really good goal kick though, and a lovely take from the left winger. Cuts inside though, doesn't take the ball with him. Zubar tries to step in, but it's found a white shirt. In the centre of the pitch, they're looking for options. He's going to have to come out to the right fullback. He's been involved in the game quite a lot earlier on. He moves it forward. He thought about going to go round him, but instead he has to get the ball back because Ngalo and Baggy teamed up and did really, really good work. And Weymouth have an excellent joy down this left-hand side. Good ball forward. but it was cut out, and now Weymouth have a chance to come forward again as Goodship hooks it in towards Thompson. Well cut out though. Not the best of balls from Brandon Goodship on that occasion. Thompson couldn't get on the end of it, and Salisbury win possession back at the edge of their 18-yard box. Hooked forward and over halfway and towards McCarthy. Well taken on the chest, and the fullback, who's been involved very a few times, tries to get in, but is hooked clear, and Salisbury have a throw in 10 yards inside the Weymouth half. Again, they can't make anything of it there, Salisbury, so the ball's hooked up clear. And out for a throw-in. Salisbury just creeping up the line slightly. They'd love to get back on terms. Played inside. Eventually there's some pressure from Cameron Murray. And he's not going to give up, he's going to keep badgering, but the ball's been worked down to the right channel again, and the first time cross, he just got it all wrong, all of his angles wrong, and it goes straight out of play for a goal kick. It was a poor ball that time from the Salisbury right fullback, and Weymouth have a goal kick. Tom McHale being told just to speed things up slightly. Well, no, he's told that there's a problem is there for the Salisbury player. The referee has stopped. I can't quite see what's going on here, but I think there's a Salisbury player receiving treatment at the moment. They may be forced into a substitution here. A couple of Weymouth players, McCarthy and Thompson and Garlow, all coming across, and Baggy eventually coming across to get a drink. Maybe a few instructions from the gaffer. Wakefield and Murray and looks like Goodship are all going to come across and just get a few instructions. Get some water on board and some fluids. And we hope the Salisbury player here is okay, but there is going to be a substitution. Not something that Steve Claridge would have been very happy to see, but it looks like Partridge is going to be replaced by Herbert. So Weymouth are going to have to prepare for this change of personnel, but it's not something that Steve Claridge would have been overly happy to see. He doesn't want to see players being forced off or any disruption to his game plan.
Substitution for Salisbury in the 21st minute.
In the 21st minute, Steve Claridge has been enforced into a change. Weymouth still lead 1-0. And we'll see if Salisbury they've sort of half struggled to cope with Weymouth so far. They've been trying to get in behind. They haven't been playing badly by any stretch of the imagination. But just wonder how forcing changes to the personnel is going to really affect the way they're set up for this game. It'd be interesting to see how they cope. As McHale eventually takes the goal kick, goes long, there's a free header in the middle of the field, and it comes back to Weymouth player, then they try to hook it up the line, well blocked. They're going to have another go, and that's a poor clearance the second time. Salisbury now have a chance, or almost had a chance to come forward, but Odebarde was aware of the danger, and he sprinted backwards rather to regain possession, and it's been worked towards McCarthy in the centre half position. McCarthy finds Baggy. Baggy wanted to go inside, there was no option there, so he goes back towards McCarthy. And McCarthy with his right foot, long diagonal, good ball from McCarthy, well watched by the fullback. Head in the air, I thought Weymouth were going to make something of it there in the centre of the field, but Salisbury managed to hook it out for another throw-in. And Weymouth look comfortable at the moment. I think Salisbury are slightly shell-shocked by the opening 22 minutes or so in this game. But as I say, as it stands, Weymouth are looking slightly comfortable. Played towards Goodship, who's come deep again. He's tried to turn it around the corner, well watched by the fullback, and has taken a touch, and under no real pressure, he's panicked with his clearance, hooked it long and straight out of play for another throw. Weymouth go all the way back to Tom McHale. That's going to give him a chance to just build again from the back. Zubar goes back towards centre half, and McCarthy sees that Abdullah Baggy's come short for him. Baggy almost hugging the left touchline. He's going to have to go inside though, and he does towards Wakefield. Wakefield lets the ball run across his body. Slightly dangerous thing to do, and there was no option, so he goes all the way back to McHale. But as I say, even for Salisbury's shape and pressing they're achieving at the moment, Weymouth do look comfortable. McHale tries to launch Weymouth down into the channel. It's headed clear. Thompson picks it up though, and then skips past one challenge, then a second, and now he's still working the ball, and he's got it out towards the right hand side. Now the Barda laid off towards Murray. thought he was going to go into the feet of Goodship there, but instead he goes backwards, and then it's been worked out to Ungalo. Ungalo turns it around the corner towards Baggy. Baggy lays it off to Ungalo again. This is good from Weymouth. Wakefield lets the ball run across his body, then squares it out, and then it's launched forward towards Thompson. That's unlucky and well cut out, and now Salisbury have a chance to break down the left-hand side. They've got one option in the middle, but he's gone too early. He's in an offside position. He had to hold up the ball. Slightly too impetuous from the striker there, the Salisbury striker, and then they try to work it in the channel. Zubar cuts it out with his chest and then hooks it forward, and then it's turned round the corner from Thompson. That's unlucky. And Salisbury just recycle the ball in the middle of their own field and then work it to the fullback through the goalkeeper. Baggy's up trying to put him under pressure, forces him backwards, and Salisbury now again have to try and move the ball forward from their own final third. And again, Weymouth's defensive shape is really, really good, and it's not allowing Salisbury the opportunities to break out and the areas in behind to play in. They move up towards halfway. Again, see, there's nothing there for Salisbury to play into. Good shape from Weymouth, really good, diligent defensive work. And eventually Salisbury do try and go forward. They try to rush the pass a little bit too much into the channel, and Ungalo cuts it out with his chest, and Weymouth recycle the ball and through Zubar in towards Cam Murray, who brings it and looks as if they're going to go and try down the right hand side into Brooks and then back to Murray. Murray's got Goodship going to come short for it. He's going to pick it up, and Goodship turns it around the corner, and there's going to be a bit of a chase on here, and I think the Weymouth player will get there first, and he does, and he goes, he skips past the challenge, and he's got options. He pulls it out towards the edge of the box, headed clear. Who's going to pick this up in midfield? Wakefield's going to put pressure on, but I think Salisbury are going to clear. Wakefield's still giving as good as he gets, and Salisbury probably struggling to clear their lines, but they do really well, and then it's picked up in midfield again by Weymouth. Suspicious of a foul there. Salisbury City fans certainly asking for it, but they've worked the ball out towards Baggy on the left hand side. Baggy steps over the ball a couple of times and goes back to Ungalo. Ungalo finds Murray. Murray finds Wakefield with his gloves on in the middle of the field. He looked as if he was going to go out towards the right channel, but instead he finds Goodship. Goodship touches it in towards Baggy, and there's options here, both left and right, and they've worked it out towards the right channel, towards the edge of the penalty area. What can they make from this? It drops to Wakefield. Wakefield has a shot from distance, is in! A fantastic first time shot from the edge of the penalty area. It bent into the left hand corner of the goal as we look at it. It took everybody by surprise, myself and the goalkeeper included, and Weymouth have doubled their lead by 26 minutes. It's Salisbury 0, Weymouth 2. Excellent work from Weymouth. They really did just keep going and keep going. You can see the collection of Salisbury fans there in that little area. They look very, very glum. They're not overly happy. But Wakefield, first time in the corner, away from the goalkeeper. What a strike, and what a opening 26 minutes this has been for Weymouth. Salisbury 0, Weymouth 2. You can hear there's no covering on the away end, incidentally, so the fact that you can hear the Weymouth fans singing and celebrating is pretty impressive. They've got a good number of Salisbury this afternoon, as they always do. They travel in their numbers, at home and away, as often as they can, and they really have got some of the best fans in non-league, because Ben Thompson goes very, very, very strong there on a Salisbury player, and it looks very high from Thompson. He's just going to walk away from it. The referee's already got the yellow card in his hand. Seeing that again, I don't know if Thompson can be seen as a little bit fortunate to only get a yellow card there, in all fairness. He went down, but that tackle to me looked really quite high from Ben Thompson. It was certainly no control in it whatsoever. He was nowhere near the ball. And I think Thompson, with his yellow card there, I think he can think himself very, very lucky to have only got himself a yellow card. And the last thing Weymouth want, having gone 2-0 up in the opening, inside the opening half an hour of this contest, the last thing they want is to see their side reduced to 10 men. They haven't been on this occasion though, and Salisbury have got back on with the game, and then a simple pass goes awry, and Weymouth are going to have a throw in and another chance to put Salisbury to the sword. Just see Baggy just sneaking over halfway there, the full-back and the winger, neither one of them have really paid him much attention, but Weymouth have moved the ball backwards instead. Zubar's been fouled as he tries to bring the ball out of defence. He was fouled. It probably would have gone out for throw-in if he wasn't fouled. And Weymouth have got on with it quickly anyway, and they've moved the ball out towards Ngalo. Ngalo let it run, or Baggy stepped in, and the ball never reached Jordan Ngalo in the end. And Weymouth have had to work it all the way back to Tom McHale in the Weymouth goal. They've worked it towards Ngalo. Ngalo with the outside of his foot, a lovely ball from Jordan Ngalo, and Abdoulaye Baggy, it's just spun away from him. Baggy almost got in the end of that. Salisbury can't keep it in play. It is going to be a throw-in, but what a delicious ball that was from Jordan Ngalo. The outside of his right foot, he looked second. But then again now, Salisbury have won the ball back from the front. And then again, it was McCarthy who worked back. I thought that came off the Salisbury player. McCarthy who worked his way back into defensive position. He won the ball first. The referee and the linesman though have said that it will be a throw-in to the home side. Got the ball back there. It's going to be taken right in front of the gaffer and his assistant. Thrown up in the air, and Ngalo wins the initial header, but with the wrong part of his head really, and it bounces straight back to a Salisbury City player. And then played inside, another loose ball, and it's been picked up by Yemi Odobade. He just slipped. Well, I thought he slipped there, but he didn't. He actually recycled the ball, tried to put it into path of Goodship, really well watched. And then Salisbury were trying to hit on the counter attack, force the ball in towards the edge of the 18-yard box and straight into Tom McHale, who in turn finds Zubar, who in turn himself finds McCarthy. McCarthy finds Zubar again, and then fed out towards Brooks on the right hand side. Nowhere to go though really, so it's gone all the way back to Zubar. And then McCarthy brings her out again. And a ball out towards Jordan Ngalo. Ngalo has been met by the Salisbury player. He's got Baggy just ahead of him. He finds the feet of Baggy. He's got nowhere to go though, so he tries to turn it into Thompson, and Thompson turns it around the corner, and Abdoulaye Baggy is fouled in the process, surely. No, says the referee. It looked as if Abdoulaye Baggy would have got on the end of that if he hadn't gone to ground. I don't know if the referee just thought he slipped there, or if he was playing for the free kick, but it certainly looked a foul to me, and it would have been outside the penalty area anyway, but Salisbury have certainly got away with one there. Weymouth still have possession. Goodship is being bundled over. It looked as if Goodship was fouled there, but the free kick's gone Salisbury's way, and I'm not sure. A couple of bizarre decisions there from the referee, both of which have gone against Weymouth. And I just wonder what we saw in each of those incidents. But never mind, there's not a great deal you can do now as Salisbury take the free kick and they've got it into the full-back position, and they're going to cross halfway with the right foot. Poor ball, really poor ball in fact, and it's just gone forward, and Ngalo lets it drop out of play for a throw-in. Gets on it quickly to McCarthy, who squares it across the 18-yard box to Zubar. Zubar under instant pressure, he's going to do well to get away from that. In fact, he's fouled in the end. And Weymouth have a free kick. And the tempo's just slightly gone out of the game since the second Weymouth goal. The excellent goal from Josh Wakefield. And Weymouth they're just content at the moment to play football, and as I say, that was a loose ball going forward, and Salisbury are back in possession, and they've launched forward. Zubar gets his head to the ball, and that's going to go out of play for another throw-in to Salisbury. As I say, the pace has just gone out of the game slightly. Salisbury a little bit shell-shocked from the two Weymouth goals that were within relatively short space. And they haven't offered too much in the way of an attacking threat to get back into the game at the moment. We've just had a second throw in quick succession, and look as if they were going to play inside, but again they're sticking to the touchline and the channels. And a nice 1-2, and now they've got a little bit of room down the left hand side. Perhaps this could be the answer they've been looking for. They've been forced backwards again though. More excellent work from Weymouth. And then eventually they cross halfway. They move it out towards the right fullback and the substitute. Played inside. There's four Weymouth players around him, but he's managed to work the ball into the channel, and Ngalo's just going to put his body in the way, and he's going to try and let that run out. I don't know if he has managed to let that run out. It's still in play, is it? The referee eventually says no, it's a goal kick, and that's good work from Jordan Ngalo. He has got a habit occasionally of trying to let the ball run out when it's never going to run, Jordan Ngalo. I thought that may have been one of those occasions, but he got that absolutely spot on, and he's won his team a goal kick. All I can hear down from the commentary position is the gaffer screaming instructions to his team. It could have been a free header there for Odebarde. As the ball had gone in, he tried to flick it in towards the path of Brooks, but he misjudged it. Salisbury again had possession back inside their own half. And Weymouth, I keep saying Weymouth's shape is absolutely superb. And it's stopping Salisbury from going forward and finding the penetration necessary to get in behind Weymouth. They've just tried another ball there, and Ngarlo, brilliantly positioned, just snuffs it out, and the ball's been worked back to McHale. And McHale gets onto his right foot, and he launches long over the top. There's a good header from the Weymouth player, but again, Salisbury are first to the ball. And they're okay. Every time they try and play in those areas, Weymouth just drop their shape off and they just cut out any gaps, and it forces Salisbury into mistakes, as you've just seen again there. And Weymouth have the ball midway inside their own half, and Ngarlo just lays it off towards McCarthy. McCarthy's no rush to go long, so he finds the feet of Baggy. Baggy's first touch was supposed to think to go back to Ngarlo, but the second time he makes it, Ngarlo turns it around the corner, and Abdoulaye Baggy races on to the end of the loose ball in towards Murray. Murray plays it into the path of Wakefield, and Wakefield, I think his eyes lit up there after that excellent goal he scored a few moments ago, but he lost control of the ball, and Salisbury bring it away down the left hand side in the gap in between two players. I thought that was a good challenge there from Odebarde. He was down on the floor. He certainly won the ball. It's whether or not the referee thought he was out of control. Salisbury fans aren't overly happy with the free kick, with the challenge from Odebarde, should I say. The referee's given a free kick, and I don't think, I'm quite a way away from it, but I don't think there was too much wrong with that, in all honesty. The referee's not got a card out or anything like that, so I think he just saw it as a foul, but it's not a bookable offence. The player who was fouled is still down on the ground. He's slowly getting to his feet now. And the long and short of it is Salisbury have an opportunity to whip the ball in towards the Weymouth 18-yard box, who are playing quite a high line, sitting on the edge of the D. I say this time and time again, but they need to be brave, and if they're going to play an offside trap, not follow their men in until the ball's been released. Wakefield back, organising the back defensive line. McCarthy and Zuba are very close together by the looks of things. The line stays strong. Salisbury waiting to deliver this into the area. Everybody drops off, and there's a ball that goes straight towards the edge of the 6-yard box, straight into the breadbasket of Tom McHale, who catches the ball, throws himself down onto his stomach, and eventually he's going to get Weymouth moving again from their own penalty area, and he does through McCarthy. And it's played inside. Wakefield's come deep on the edge of his 18-yard box to touch the ball, and that's a really loose ball from McCarthy, and McHale's had to respond, and he gets out there and manages to just about clear the ball. That was really, really loose from Josh Wakefield. I don't know what he was thinking there. He wins a header and tries to recover, but after that wonder goal he scored just a few moments ago, I'm sure we'll let him off. Again, Weymouth struggling to clear, really, and it's very scrappy in the middle of the field. Now Salisbury work it out towards the left channel. Who's going to get there first? What a bit of skill to get away from the challenge of Zubar towards the edge of the 6-yard box. And there's a strike coming in, and that's a great save from Tom McHale. His first time effort, he just tried to control it with his side foot and put it into the top corner of the net. McHale was well alive to it. He gets his fingertips to the ball and he pushes it out for a corner. The first corner of the afternoon goes to the home side, Salisbury FC. Good save, Tom McHale. Do need a new ball though. The corner's going to be taken from the right hand side, right in front of that collection of Weymouth fans who've travelled down here this afternoon. Salisbury need a spark of inspiration. They'd love to get a goal before half time. Looks as if it's going to be a left footed corner, so it'll swing in towards McHale's goal and towards his near post. Salisbury are quite deep with their runners, so late runners into the area, and here it comes all the way across the 6-yard box, in fact all the way across the penalty area. It's taken no touch except for one from a Weymouth player all the way through, and it's going to be a throw in to Salisbury down the left hand side instead. Bit of a waste there for the home side. Eventually the throw-in's taken in towards the corner, and Weymouth just double up, and they manage to clear the ball, and it's hooked around the corner and Weymouth will give chase, but I think Salisbury player Mantle will get there first. He goes to ground and puts the ball out for a throw-in. Good defending from Salisbury as Weymouth were looking to hit on the counter. Weymouth, they're just taking their time. The rules, they weren't overly happy with, or the referee wasn't overly happy with the amount of time they were taking to take the throw-in, or the position they wanted to take the throw-in. And he's just hurried them up and G'd them along and put them in the right place, and Weymouth were forced to throw backwards, and Zubar does really well to feed it in towards the feet of Odobade. Odobade can't make anything of it though, and Salisbury are going to bring it away on the left hand side. They played in towards the centre of the pitch, they got in each other's way, but it did break for their way, and then a loose touch again from Salisbury, and it's going to go straight through to the feet of Tom McHale at the edge of his own 18-yard box. And Salisbury, I'm not sure what it is they're going to need to change in order to get in behind here, but they are really struggling to find spots and find areas to exploit in the Weymouth back line. Weymouth have it with Ungalo midway through the Salisbury half, and finds Abdoulaye Baggy. Baggy thought about running towards the channel, but he's thought better of it, and then finds the feet of Ungalo. Ungalo squares it to Murray, loose ball from Murray, and Baggy's not going to get there, and Salisbury again can bring it away, and that's just testament to how scrappy the game has got in the past few minutes. Now Salisbury, that's better from them. They found the centre half and a little bit of room, and then a really loose touch forces them sideways, but they have managed to keep it in play. It's just these little tiny errors that are just sneaking into the home team's game this afternoon, and I think it's part of the reason they find themselves 2 goals behind. Baggy rather just dangled a leg there and allowed the Salisbury player to go over it, and gives a free kick away, which they've got on with quickly. And they've squared the ball. A really loose ball. That must be really frustrating for Steve Claridge to see his team do. It was a nothing pass, 15-yard ball with no pressure whatsoever, and it was loose, and it forces Salisbury back 10 yards, and then another mistake creeps in as they try to force the ball up into the channel. It was a really poor ball, no control whatsoever, and it gives Weymouth a throw-in, and you've got to believe that Steve Claridge is not going to be happy with his team. Not so much their first half display, because they've been playing the game in the right way, they've been working hard, their defensive shape is really, really good, but since going behind they've offered nothing really in an attacking threat, and the only time they've really got in behind has come from a Weymouth mistake, and Steve Claridge, you have to believe, as a class striker himself, will not be happy to see that. There's a battle going on at the edge of the box, Salisbury do come away with it, but again Weymouth are putting pressure on, releasing the gaps. There was a run there towards the channel, the player thought about it and then thought better of it. Instead it comes to the edge of the box, he's thought about a shot, trying to create that half yard of room. Again he's moving the ball from right to left, and I think it's now going to go back towards the right hand side, and does. Is this going to be a first time cross? No, he puts his foot on it. Under pressure from Ungalo. Again Weymouth really not giving any quarter. The ball whipped in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, but it's headed clear, didn't beat the first man. It comes back out to a Salisbury player, and then again first time ball headed up in the air. Weymouth not clearing their lines particularly convincingly, and then eventually Baggy does hook it clear. Thompson's going to go and give chase, but it falls back to a Salisbury player, and Baggy cuts out the ball and plays it in towards Thompson. Thompson lays it off towards Abdoulaye Baggy, and now here come Weymouth down the left hand side. Thompson was going to keep up with Baggy. Baggy just saw the challenge come in, gets fouled, and Weymouth have a free kick midway inside the Salisbury half, and possibly an opportunity to whip the ball into the penalty area. It was quite a heavy tackle on Baggy. I know he was waiting for the contact, but as soon as it came he went down, but it was quite a hefty old bit of contact, and Abdoulaye Baggy's still feeling it at the moment. Wakefield's gone across to have a look at this, the angle of this kick. I don't think Weymouth are going to put this in the area. I think they're likely to go shorter. McCarthy's going to go up and join the edge of the 18-yard box. Zubar's going to go with him. Cam Murray's going to settle in towards the edge of the centre circle, and Wakefield, I think he is actually going to put it in the box, and he does, and it's high, up in the air, headed up in the air by a Salisbury player. Good defender in the end, and the goalkeeper under no pressure just comes to the edge of his 6-yard box, rises above everybody and catches the ball, ready to distribute. I think he was going to put it down there. Instead he decided to roll it out to his centre midfielder, his holding midfielder, and then he goes back to the centre half, and Salisbury will come and try down the left hand side. last couple of minutes before half-time. Salisbury 0, Weymouth 2. It's been a really good, solid opening 42 and a bit minutes for the Terrans. Or 43 and a bit minutes, I should say. So the ball's being worked between the two centre-halves. And again, Weymouth just dropping back into the defensive shape. Salisbury trying to overload down the right-hand side. And eventually the ball does go on the right-hand side. It's a poor ball in between the two players with no control on it whatsoever, and straight out for a throw-in. And I think I can hear Steve Claridge's anger rising from the touchline. I can hear it from here. I can feel it from here. I don't think I'd like to be a Salisbury player going into the dressing room at half-time, to be honest with you. Thrown up the line, Thompson gets the flick on. Up towards Baggy, and again up towards... Well, it's towards the Salisbury player. Thompson wins the ball, and it's going to go back to the Salisbury goalkeeper via the fullback, and he launches long, and there's going to be a battle on the midfield. Both players jump under the ball, but eventually Salisbury hook it forward. Zubar, I thought Zubar was going to come away with the ball. He does it the second attempt. He finds Ngalo, and Ngalo feeds it towards the feet of Thompson. There's a big 50-50 in there. Big 50-50. Thompson was not overly happy with that challenge. Neither player was pulling out though. Salisbury came away with the ball, and Weymouth head it clear and up in towards the right channel for Salisbury, and they retain the ball and retain possession as we approach half-time. Again, Salisbury just working their way into trouble, really. The combination of Thompson and Baggy there just dispossessed Salisbury with ease. And now Wakefield finds Odebarde. Odebarde's going to have a shot from distance. A decent effort as well, just over the crossbar. That would have been the cherry on top of the icing for the Weymouth first half display so far. But the ball sails over the crossbar, and it is going to be a goal kick to the home side. But it was, again, I keep going back to Steve Claridge and what he's going to say at half-time from a Salisbury point of view. And the way that they were dispossessed there, I know Thompson and Baggy both double-teamed the Salisbury player and, really put them to the sword. But the way that they were so easily dispossessed will not be very pleasing to the home manager at all. This is better from Salisbury though, on the right-hand side. And again, they're going to try the channel, and that looks like a fair challenge, and it's going to just result in a throw-in. But it's that every time that Salisbury try to get forward, Weymouth are slamming the door. And it must be so frustrating to watch from the home point of view. The throw-in comes in, and then eventually, again, they can't find any penetration at all, and a long ball over everybody, and that's going to go out towards the channel, and it's not taking a touch on the way through, and it's going to be a Weymouth throw-in, and that should be enough to see them through to half-time. In fact, there is the half-time whistle, and it's been a really good display from Weymouth. Salisbury, since going behind, will certainly feel slightly frustrated that they haven't offered more in the way of an attacking threat, but early goal from Goodship. He done really well. He drove at the Salisbury back line and got in behind and put it through the goalkeeper and into the back of the net. Followed up from the second goal from Wakefield, who hit it first time from the right hand corner of the penalty area, beat everybody including the goalkeeper, and Weymouth are looking very comfortable at the break. It's Salisbury 0, Weymouth 2.
someone gave us 97 points at St Ives, you know, the first kick of the ball against St Ives, I think everyone would have snapped your hand off, and probably would have been enough to win the league any other year. So the fact that we're in, you know, still in a position where we can still get promoted, it's exciting times. We've got everything to play for. Won 3-0, another clean sheet, good performance, or a good second half performance for ourselves, where we sort of clicked into gear a little bit more. Yeah, it's everything to play for, isn't there? So, like I said, exciting times. Every team any other year could have won it, you know, so I think everyone's finished on 97 or 100 points, so fair play to Hereford, who, you know, won it at a canter in the end and thoroughly deserved. It's going to be, you know, interesting, these playoffs. You know, like I said, there's not much between any of us. I think 4 different types of teams, different styles, different pitches, different, you know, so there's a big mix in there, but you know, we'll prepare right, we'll be ready, we'll be travelling to Kings Lynn. I'm sure we'll be taking our fans up with us to help give us that push as well, and you know, we hope to make everyone proud.
The second half, we found our football, you know, like we play our way, and I think we've done well, you know. We've done well, and for like last game before the playoff, and I think it's important to finish on the win at home, you know. So even happy. I mean, like the player, they are happy. Like the staff, the fan. I think they were just fantastic. So yeah. So now we just have to focus on Wednesday because it's massive game. I'm a fan also. You know, I'm a football fan. You know, so I know they've been waiting for, you know, for this for a long time. This last season been quite difficult. So I think we have to enjoy this time to get that I try to do.
Brilliant.
It's okay, I'm good. Let's go! We bring the stars out. We bring the women and the cars and the cars out. Let's have a toast, a celebration, get a glass out. And we can do this until we pass out.
Let it play, let it go away.
Yeah.
We won't come down until we hit the ground.
Yeah, pass out. Yeah, I'm in charge now. I'm a star and I brought my cast out. I live a very, very, very wild lifestyle. Heidi and Audrina, eat your heart out. I used to listen to you, don't wanna bring bring arms out. I've got so many girls that keep time in my arms. Disturbing London, baby, we about to branch out. See my baby, pretty quick, challenger. Yeah, yeah, and there ain't nobody pressure. Semester to semester, breaking with the pressure. 20 around my table and my dresser. CLC compressor, just in case that don't impress her. Say hello to Dexter, say hello to Uncle Fester. Got him gazing at my necklace and my crazy sun protectors. G-Shocks, I got a crazy dumb collection. Haters, I can't hear your reception. Yeah, yeah, we bring the stars out. We bring the women and the cars out. Let's have a toast, a celebration, get a glass out. And we can do this until we pass out.
Let it rain, let it pour away.
Yeah.
We won't come down until we hit the ground and
Pass out. Yeah, they say hello, they say hola, and they say bonjour. I never got to fly on a Concorde. I've been Southampton, but I've never been to Scunthorpe. I'm crazy with the kicks, call me John Claude. I'm about to be a bigger star than my mum for. Cause every day I got a groupie at my front door. Now I drive past the bus I used to run for. Where's my flat? Where's my uncle? I walk alone, cause I'm all alone. I just say this for fun, I'll never ever call a phone. I even in the club, I'll never ever call a phone. The foundation, I'm the cornerstone. I'm very famous, I'm sorta known. And if your son doesn't, I bet your daughter knows. Check out my visual, check out my audio. Extraordinary, yo, hope you enjoy the show. Yeah, we bring the stars out. We bring the women and the cars out. Let's have a toast, a celebration, get a glass out. And we can do this until we pass out.
let it rain, let it pour away. We won't come down until we hit the ground and
Pass out.
Manchester United were at home to Weymouth, white-sleeved shirts and ringed stockings, and there was a big crowd of FA Cup fans to see this third-round encounter. There was a chance that the men from Dorset might prove to be this year's giant killers, but it was more likely United would score a clear-cut victory, and this proved to be the case. Here's a typical example of the home team putting on the pressure. Rowley, number 9, looking very dangerous, and the Weymouth men working hard to clear. Manchester takes a free kick, and Weymouth supporters breathe again. Delaney takes a corner. Soon afterwards, United opened the score when a centre from the left wing was netted by Rowley. Weymouth fought hard, but never really had a chance. They were 2 down after Pearson banged one in. 2 more in the second half gave United a 4-0 win.
to Salisbury, where it is Salisbury 0, Weymouth 2. First half goals from Brandon Goodship and then Josh Wakefield. Salisbury didn't really have too much of an answer in the way of an attacking threat towards the end of the first half. Steve Claridge won't be overly happy with what he's seen from his team in response to the 2 Weymouth goals, but the players are back out, and it is going to be Salisbury to get us underway in the second half, playing from right to left in their traditional white shirts, black shorts, white socks, and the Terrors, of course, in their traditional sky blue or claret trim as the ball's instantly pumped forward in towards the channel, and it's going to go straight out of play for a Weymouth throw-in. Segregation in place, of course, remember, this afternoon, so it's Weymouth are now kicking towards their own supporters, who have filled up the area of the goal behind, or away to my right, I should say, as Ngale tries to take this throw-in down the line. It's going to hit a Salisbury head and go straight back out of play for another throw-in. Weymouth are very good in the first half. You can see, just like Odebarde, just trying to warm up ahead of us. As Weymouth come down the left-hand side. Weymouth are very good, very assured on the ball. It was a little bit scrappy at times, but the defensive shape was superb, and Salisbury really couldn't find any areas to play in behind. And it was really good to see from a Weymouth point of view as they launched the ball long and into the channel now, which they're going to give chase with Abdullah Baggy. He's got support at the edge of the penalty area, and Thompson, and he found Thompson. Thompson thought Goodship was slightly closer to him and let the ball drop. And Salisbury are going to bring it away up towards halfway. They've got a man over on the left-hand side. Instead, they've played short just into the centre of the field. And now they're working the ball well. It's been a good start to the second half with the football for Salisbury. Forced backwards again, though. Again, Weymouth shape with Goodship and Thompson headed a 2 at the moment. Salisbury playing across their back line as they have to. Back into the centre circle, Weymouth not letting up. Eventually, Thompson leads the charge for the press for the Terrors. Salisbury do a good job of playing their way out of it. They're in little triangles, and as I say that, a poor ball, but it was caused by a foul, and Salisbury are going to have a free kick on halfway. Brooks with the throw-in, goes down the line. Thompson flicks on, but in towards Odebarde, but it was cleared. Now Salisbury have it back. Murray leaves the ball in the air, but again it drops to a Salisbury player. They can't get past Brooks, and I think Brooks is forced into a foul though. He doesn't think it was a foul. He was sort of stuck. His studs almost got stuck in the turf as the rain has really started to come down now. Those Weymouth fans are going to get very wet behind the goal away to my right. And Salisbury have a free kick. Delivered in towards the edge of the penalty area, up in the air, then flicked out towards the touchline. He's not going to keep it in, did he? But I think he prevented the throw-in. He did. He prevented the throw-in, trying to keep the ball in play, the Salisbury player there, and it accidentally dropped over the byline and gave Weymouth a goal kick. So it was a good idea to try and keep it in play, but one that totally backfired. And Weymouth are going to have a chance to settle down and get used to the conditions as the rain is really now pouring down here in Salisbury. As I mentioned earlier, the away coverings, or the away end has no covering whatsoever. As Mikel goes long. In the field, it's a bit scrappy, but Salisbury done a good job to come away and just move the ball around. Cameron Murray has switched the ball out towards the right hand side. Again, they're forced backwards, but there's a bit more urgency about Salisbury, and they're moving the ball quickly at the start of this second half. Much better to see as they try to get their way back into this game. Again, they're moving down the right hand side, played in towards the edge of the penalty area, then out towards the right wing. It's a good ball in, it's going to drop anywhere in the box, and Zubar has to throw himself to get there ahead of the Salisbury player and clear the ball up towards Thompson, who can't control it, and Salisbury now sends a little bit of blood in the Weymouth back line. Again, good football, and they're moving it with industry. Out towards the fullback and back in towards the centre half. So we're looking for any sort of penetration in behind, long diagonal out towards the right wing, and then almost turn around the corner, but it dropped to Ngale was there. And now Salisbury come again down the right hand side, in towards the edge of the penalty area. Zubar heads clear this time, and then it's touched all the way back, and Weymouth are going to play their way out. Not long unnecessarily, really, and Salisbury pick the ball up just inside their own half, and they can come again. Much better from Salisbury at the start of the second half. Good hassling, good press from Weymouth. Odebade's turned the press this time, Cam Murray just before him. And Salisbury are forced to go from left to right. Played in towards, it's a loose touch, and now Weymouth have a chance to counter, and Thompson turns around the corner, and Goodship's just gone a little bit early. He was clearly in an offside position there around Goodship. Good idea from Thompson to turn it around the corner, and Goodship just needed to hold his run a little bit, and he couldn't do it on that occasion. Salisbury got the free territory as they speak, but Zubar holds off really well, and it allows Brooks to step in, and Brooks likes to travel. He can't beat his man this time though, and Salisbury bring it away, and now there's a gap when Kelvin Brooks has just left. Salisbury approaching the edge of the penalty area. Looked like it could have been a foul from Zubar. The referee says no. Weymouth cleared. Thompson controls on halfway, and he turns it right around the corner, and there's a chase on front by Baggy, but far too far in front of him, and Baggy gives up, and the ball's going to drop harmlessly out for a Salisbury City throw-in. Just see, Salisbury are sort of both patient and urgent at the moment. It's a lot better than it was in the first half, especially after Weymouth had scored. I wonder if they're playing up to the now wet conditions is helping the home side. They try to turn it on the corner again. Brooks gets in the way. Suspicions of handball. The referee says no though, and the throw-in was taken quickly. It comes off the head of Zubar. Mikel comes out, and then he launches the ball from his hands out towards the left wing, and Abdoulaye Baggy. He's not going to beat the Salisbury man now, and it comes back off Abdoulaye Baggy, and it's going to be a throw into Salisbury. Good defending. All the way back to the Salisbury goalkeeper. Launches long over the top. Done well to keep it in play, and Garlow steps in. And eventually he turns around the corner to the run of Odobade, and the defender's going to get there first, just nailed it back to the keeper. It's good assured positioning from the Salisbury City defender. And Odobade's just struggled to get into the second half, just taking his time, and it's not quite there just yet. Salisbury again have the ball midway inside their own half, and a long diagonal, a very good ball out towards the right wing. Salisbury certainly looking for a response in the second half. He's held up, it comes back towards the edge of the penalty area. Shimmies one way, then the other, and gets back onto his right foot, puts it across the penalty area. It could drop anywhere, and it's good the last ditch defending. Salisbury still keeping it alive in the area, and another excellent block. Excellent defending from Weymouth. Good work from Salisbury. Josh Wakefield is having a go at players left, right and centre at the moment. He wants Weymouth to switch on rather. But Salisbury almost back in the game there. It took two very convincing blocks for Weymouth to clear. The danger's not over yet though. Salisbury have a throw-in. Zubar's doing his laces in the middle of the penalty area at the moment. And Salisbury aren't happy with the pressure on the ball, so it's going to be a new ball called for at the same time. And the fullback there tried to throw the ball towards the player to take the throw in, and it hit his teammate on the back of the head, much to the amusement of the Weymouth fans behind the goal away to my right. So we're going to look for the longish throw here by the looks of things. Weymouth have just retreated slightly towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Here comes the throw into the area, headed away by McCarthy, back out towards the area in which the throw came from. Weymouth allow a cross in a little bit too easily there, but Zubar's away at the edge of the box to stab it clear. Comes back to a Salisbury player. Some nice industry from Salisbury. Some very good periods of keeping the ball. And they are finally forcing Weymouth out of position. They're going to have a shot from the edge of the box, but that one's wayward. It's gone over the bar and over the stand. And the score remains 2-0. But it's been much better from Salisbury at the start of the second half. They've really shown some intent to get back into the game. They've really shown that they are a good side. And you just sense that if they were to score the next goal of this game, they could be right back in this football match. Tom McGill then with the kick, right foot up in the air, and it's holding up in the air. Wind starting to pick up as well. Eventually headed clear by Weymouth in towards the feet of Thompson, hooked clear by Salisbury. Zubar's there to deal with it, but they said we can't come as far as a Salisbury player inside the centre circle. He's done well there to get away from Odebarde, but he's over on the ball. Brooks just hooks it clear, and now Ben Thompson's going to give chase. He's one-on-one with the fullback. The fullback tucks in though and touches it back to the goalkeeper. Good chip. Eventually he's going to go and close down his opposite number, and they've done a really good job of playing their way out there, Salisbury, in a big gap in between Ben Thompson, Brandon Goodship and the rest of the Weymouth team on that occasion. Again, it's hooked forward. Zubar does get there, but he doesn't get there convincingly, and it's going to fall to an opportunity in the box, and Zubar very much atones for his error with a fantastic tackle, and now Weymouth can break up towards halfway, played out towards the left wing, left like Maggie. Maggie's got Murray in support. He's not going to use it though, instead he's going to go back to Jordan and Garlow, and eventually I think it's going to go to Zubar, and it does. Zubar waits for the challenge and then just evades it, and then he's got Brooks moving over halfway. Brooks tries to play in towards Odebarde, but the Salisbury player cuts it out, and Weymouth will throw him midway inside the Salisbury half. Going in towards the feet of Thompson, lays it off to Odebarde. Odebarde tries to hook it into the penalty area, but it's cleared by Salisbury. Out as far as Brooks, who takes on his chest and cuts inside, and then he's heading towards the edge of the penalty area. It's a quick ball in towards the feet of Thompson. Thompson finds Goodship. Maggie's gone on the outside. Thompson cuts inside instead. He's trying to get a shot away by Goodship. He does. It's a good block. It comes out to Cameron Murray. Murray at the edge of the box. He beats a challenge and he hooks it in towards the back post. And Abdullah Baggy, he just took his eye off the ball and it went slightly ahead of him. And he's had to scramble to keep it alive, which he's done. He comes back and now worked in towards Goodship. Goodship was back to goal. Coming out of that area finds Murray. Murray skips past one challenge, then a second. Good work from Cameron Murray. And he feeds it in again towards Goodship. That's a loose ball, and Salisbury going to clear. And Weymouth putting real pressure on. So Weymouth, sort of loose clearance from the goalkeeper. Weymouth can't make anything of it. The ball skips off Cameron Murray's head and goes out towards the right hand side. Now here come the Whites on that side, waiting for the overlap. Instead he's going to come back inside. The left fullback decided to go, and he found the ball, he lost his footing, and he had to readjust, and he did really well not to handle the ball there, and he kept the ball alive for Salisbury. Midway inside their own half, tries to feed it in towards the area. Zubar cuts it out, and the clearance in towards Thompson. Thompson's first touch almost took him down the Salisbury player, but he recovered well and hooks it back to the home goalkeeper. Again, a long ball over the top in towards the corner of the penalty area, but there was a little bit too much on that as well, and Tom McHale just comes out and gathers the ball, and Weymouth can relax slightly. Still 2-0 here in Salisbury. Tom McHale certainly taking his time in his clearances. Long over the top, in towards Thompson. It was actually almost direct on Thompson's head there. I think it would have been asking a little bit much of him to try and control that sort of ball. Scrappy in the middle of the field. It's going to come up, suspicions of a foul, but they say no, and Garlow feeds the ball out towards Baggy, towards the corner of the penalty area. Abdullah Baggy is going to go outside, he is this time, then he cuts back in, and then out back to the byline, and eventually tries to get a cross away. It's blocked by a defender of Weymouth on the first corner of the second half. Certainly don't seem to be in too much of a rush to take this corner away with. They are 2-2 good. And they're certainly, as it stands, sending those very, very wet supporters behind the goal away happy. And here comes the corner. It's in towards the 6-yard box. The goalkeeper probably could have caught that, to be honest, but he made an elaborate punch. And it's come back out. Weymouth going to have another chance to put it in the box, and here it comes. Good ball in from Goodship, headed clear, and now Salisbury have a chance to potentially break. Oh, loose ball into the middle of the pitch there. Weymouth all getting bodies back, scrambled. It was easily cut out in the end. Good defensive work from the Terrors. Mikhail launches long, holds up in the air in the breeze. Well won in the air by Salisbury. And now Salisbury trying to bring it away in the middle of the field. Again, is that a bit of a loose ball? 50-50 there. That was a hefty old challenge from the Salisbury player. And Garlow, though, didn't seem to feel any effects of it, and Weymouth come away with the ball with Murray, back to Zubar, then Cam Murray picks it up in midfield. Instantly closed down Cameron Murray, and he's forced to go back to Mikhail, but Weymouth doing a good job of keeping the ball. Mikhail slightly on the short side towards Zubar. Zubar had to wait for the ball to get to him. He was instantly under pressure from 3 different Salisbury players, and he does well to come away with it and goes back to his goalkeeper, who then feeds the ball out towards the Jake McCarthy, the left centre half. Mikhail eventually launches long. That's going to be a foul on Ben Thompson, surely it would have been, but Abzai Baggy picks up the ball in his chest and he's approaching the edge of the penalty area. He's got Goodship in there as well. He decides to take it on himself. It's good defending, really. It bounced off the knee of the defender and fell kindly into the hands of the goalkeeper. Excellent break from Weymouth, and I don't think you can begrudge Abzai Baggy for having a go on that occasion. Salisbury have it in the middle of the field, and they're not going to be able to make anything of it this time. It's going to go out for another throw-in to Weymouth. I think there's going to be a substitution to be made. I think it's going to be for the home team, and I think it's going to be Carmichael coming on for Goodship. It is. I can see Brandon Goodship's just slowly jogging off the field, and it's going to be Carmichael to come on for him. I think the manager just wants to change the shape slightly. But a good run out for Brandon Goodship, and an excellent goal to get Weymouth moving this afternoon. And there is Josh Carmichael coming onto the field. And you can just see him there talking to Cam Murray. It looks as if he's going to push Cameron Murray slightly further forward. Odobadi's coming back out towards the right hand side. I think that's just a change to shore things up slightly from the manager. Salisbury, in the meantime, make a hash of clearing the throw in and give Weymouth another one further out the field. Going towards the corner of the penalty area, it's headed up in the air. I don't think anybody's going to get on the end of that though. And Salisbury again make a hash of clearing it, and it goes out for another throw into the Towers. Weymouth in no hurry to get on with this throw in, as you can see. Eventually it's thrown in towards Thompson. He does well to take it on his chest. Suspicions of handball from both players there. The referee says play on. Thompson, using his strength, holding the ball up, feeds it back out towards Ngalo. Ngalo throws a dummy. Excellent work from Ngalo. And then he delivers the ball into the area, and the referee, or the flag's gone up for offside. Was that against Ngalo? I think that was offside against Jordan Ngalo, but I'm sure the ball went backwards. Anyway, either way, Salisbury are bringing the ball away down the left-hand side. Good shape from Weymouth, and a good press from Weymouth, and lots of energy from Carmichael, who's just come onto the field. Salisbury shift the ball out towards the right-hand side, then put it back centrally. And again, just moving the ball from right to left, and they're trying to be patient in their build-up. Done really well there. He skipped away from 2 challenges and then tried to play the ball into the channel in between the fullback and the centre half. You could see the runner in beyond him, but the Weymouth player thankfully stood up and positioned himself expertly to get rid of that. Now Weymouth try to break and they can't. There's a long diagonal out to the left hand side, and this could be Salisbury in business. No, it can't. The flag has gone up again, much to the chagrin of the home supporters who thought he was in an onside position. and Weymouth have a free kick and a chance to clear their lines and just take a few more precious seconds off the clock. Still plenty of time in this game. Kel then with the clearance, long. Headed up in the air, is Camera going to get on the end of it? Good defending. It falls back out though to Baggy. Baggy spinning one way and the other, cuts inside, then under pressure. Wakefield hooks the ball out towards the right hand side. Weymouth, they get in there. It was Cam Murray gets a shot away, it was blocked. And then launched long, so he tried to spin away from his man, there was too much on the ball anyway, it's going to run straight through to McHale. McHale gets on with it quickly and just lays it off to Zuba at the edge of the penalty area, out towards his fullback. And again, there's nothing ahead of him really, so he goes back to McHale, nice 1-2 between the two. Then played forward towards Baggy, and Baggy takes on his chest and hooks it around the corner. That's excellent work. Well, it was Ngalo rather. Baggy was the one who received the ball, and then Abdullah Baggy gets fouled in the process. And Weymouth will have a free kick midway inside the Salisbury half and a chance to perhaps put the ball into the Salisbury 18-yard box. Referee just marking out where he wants the ball to be. You can hear the rain pouring down and bouncing off the stands. And Salisbury are going to make a substitution. And it's going to be, Mullings coming off, and it's going to be Hopper to come on for Salisbury. That's their second change of the day after the unfortunate injury to Partridge in the first half, where he was replaced by Herbert. Weymouth have just made the one change, remember. As the free kick comes in towards the back end of the area, Odebardo takes a lovely touch, lays it off. Nice triangle in towards the edge of the box, just went through Thompson's legs there, and Salisbury able to bring it away. Again, they do a good job of shifting it from left to right, and it's sort of coming back in, and then back towards the left hand side, Salisbury. And then played in towards the feet, this is good from Salisbury, played down the left wing. Zubar goes to meet him, as does Brooks. Brooks forces him into the corner. Zubar's going to get there first, and he's going to tidy up for Weymouth. Just lays it off to his goalkeeper. He hits it first time up towards halfway. Good work though from the Salisbury centre half to win the ball back. And that's a lovely diagonal ball out towards the right hand corner of the area. Turning one way then the other, he's instantly under pressure. Does well to keep hold of the ball and lays it off. And in towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Oh, and then he tried to hook it down the channel or down the line towards the edge of the 6-yard box, but it was cut out by a Weymouth man. Good invention, good idea from Salisbury, good defending from Weymouth. Remains 2-0 to the away side. Throw-in taken quickly, then played back out towards the right touchline. Long diagonal, that's not going to go the way he wants it to. Headed clear, only as far as a white shirt. Midway inside the Weymouth half, fed out towards the channel again, too much on it again, and it goes out for a throw into Weymouth. So he managed to whip back, do a good job there off the throw, then fed in towards the edge of the area. Zubar takes the touch and he tries to release Odebardo. Odebardo's not quite going to get there first though. Good work from the Salisbury fullback, and goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. Bit of token pressure from Thompson. Easy for Salisbury to play their way out though. Good work from the home side. Then a good ball out towards the right channel. Ngalo goes to meet him. He's going to go into the box early, and it does. Headed up in the air. It's going to drop anywhere. Salisbury still trying to keep it alive. There's a foul there at the edge of the box, and Salisbury are going to have a penalty. It looked like a coming together to me. I like to see it again as the ball was up in the air. Both sets of eyes were on the ball, but I think the Salisbury player got there first. It was right at the edge of the box, and the referee had no hesitation He pointed straight to the penalty spot, and Salisbury are going to have a chance to reduce the deficit here. Just keeping an eye on all the players. The referee's trying to get control of the situation. Going to be the substitute Hopper, not been on the field for too long. He's the man who's going to place the ball on the spot when the referee's ready. He's just talking to a few Weymouth players, talking to Kelvin Brooks at the moment. He's trying to keep control of the situation. Tom McHale, his return to Weymouth, he's going to be faced with a shot from 12 yards, booking for Brooks. And Salisbury, who are 2-0 down at home, with 20 or so minutes on the clock, have a chance to reduce the deficit. There we go, the referee is finally ready. It's Hopper with his right foot, 1-on-1 with McHale. He steps up, he takes a penalty and scores. He sends McHale the wrong way. The ball goes into the bottom right hand corner as we look at it. McHale goes the other way, and Salisbury are back in this game. Salisbury 1, Weymouth 2. You can say what you like about the penalty decision. I mean, it's one of those where everybody can interpret them differently. It looked like a coming together to me, but the referee was right on the spot. He didn't hesitate, and now it's time to see how Weymouth respond to conceding a goal. They were looking relatively comfortable up to that point. Zubar risking just stepping across his defender there. And he was sort of risking the referee taking action against him, but he didn't say anything. Weymouth played on. They've moved the ball out towards Baggy on the left-hand side. Baggy, who's going to try and get to the byline, but was well defended by Salisbury, who now all of a sudden have their toes up. Again, Zubar bundling over his man, clearly on halfway there. The referee was looking at it, says no, and now Weymouth have the ball again, out towards Odebarde. Thought about going on the outside, instead he plays in towards Carmichael. Carmichael plays again to Wakefield in midfield. Wakefield has a good idea in towards the channel, but it was easily cut out, and as the Salisbury player still down on halfway, I didn't see what happened there. It was Zubar running away from the incident. The ball's gone all the way through to McHale. McHale finds McCarthy, and Weymouth are playing on regardless. The referee has eventually decided it's a head injury, and he's going to stop the game, and he's going to allow treatment to the Salisbury City player. But all of a sudden this game has started to burst into life. There are signs of a football match breaking out. As we wait for the Salisbury City player, obviously we hope he's okay, but he's going to receive treatment in here. Weymouth still lead by 2-1. 2 first half goals, first from Brandon Goodship and then from Josh Wakefield. And Salisbury just a few moments ago from the penalty spot, and Hopper, the substitute, getting them back into the game. Everything to play for in the last however many minutes there are left. I should imagine with a penalty and then maybe a fair chunk of stoppage time at the end of this match. Salisbury sportively boot the ball back to Tom McHale, and the injured player is straight back on the field. Didn't seem to be too much wrong with him eventually. McHale puts the ball down, he launches long, flicked round the corner. Odebarde's going to give chase. Is he going to get there first? I don't think he is. No, it's touched back to the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper's hooked it up in the air. It's a really good clearance under the circumstances. As it came to him, he had to hit it on the half volley. Wakefield picks up in midfield. As that bounced off the Salisbury player, it has, and Weymouth are going to make do with a throw in midway inside the Salisbury half down the right hand side. Just looking for options. There's not too much movement ahead of Calvin Brooks from this throw in. Eventually he goes inside to Carmichael, he turns it round to Wakefield. Wakefield finds Murray. Murray trying to find some room at the edge of the box to get a shot away. Eventually he does, it's blocked. He lays it off to Odebarde. Odebarde and has Murray go round him, but he stands it up instead, and there's a header at the back post, but it was just too high really for Wakefield, and he can't direct it, and it goes behind the goal and away for a goal kick to Salisbury. Good work there from Cameron Murray, and a good ball in from Odebarde, and it was just unfortunate Wakefield couldn't get on the end of it to direct his header. And Salisbury had a chance to clear, which they've done with their fullback at the moment, back inside to the centre half. It's launched into the channel, but well watched and well cut out by Ngalo, and Ngalo hooks it out towards Baggy on the left hand side. Can he keep it in? He can't quite get there. It's unlucky. He's a pacey man, after by Baggy, but sometimes the ball's just ahead of him and he can't quite reach it. And Salisbury again are going to have a chance to bring the ball away. Oh, that's a really heavy touch. And Odebardo's going to get on the end of that, and he does, and he forces the ball into the channel. He stands up and he turns it inside. That's really good work. And now they've got it, and there's going to be a chance here. They peel it off to Cam Murray. Cam Murray gets a shot in. The ball drops into the back of the net. Excellent work capitalising on a mistake from Weymouth. And Weymouth, who were possibly going to be put under the sword when Salisbury got the penalty to get themselves back into the game, have now restored their 2-goal advantage. It's Salisbury 1, Weymouth 3. Those fans behind the goal who were soaking wet, and they've been relentlessly poured on throughout the second half. They've now got something to celebrate. Really good work from Odebardo initially to capitalise on the mistake, and then the ball was fed into the penalty area from good work down the right hand side. I think it was from Kelvin Brooks. He pulls it back, and there's Cameron Murray. He misdirects the goalkeeper and puts the ball into the back of the net, and the Terrors have, as I say, restored their 2-goal advantage. 3-1. Is that enough to put the game to bed though? And Salisbury get the game back underway. I've just heard one of the Salisbury players say, get the players off the field, it's not safe. I wonder if that may just be a reaction to all of a sudden being 3-1 down. Here comes Salisbury, still trying to respond. They've got work cut out. They've done really well to get back into the game, and now they've got their work cut out trying to chase the game yet again. Move the ball from left to right though, and out on the touchline. The rain's getting slightly heavier. They've crossed over halfway, then they've fed it in towards the channel. Now there's a chance here to deliver the ball. He can't keep it in there. The ball managed to run away from him. I thought that was going to stay in play, but it seems I was wrong. The rain's getting heavier and heavier here in Salisbury. Those fans behind the goal, the ones that have got no covering whatsoever, getting absolutely drenched. And there's something the referee's not overly happy with there. He's given Salisbury a free kick, so there's a chance to put the ball into the Weymouth area with these wet and slippery conditions. You know, it could well cause the back line some problems. There goes the whistle. Here comes the delivery. It's up in the air. It sticks in the air. It's going to drop for a volley. It's going to be into the 6-yard box. Oh, he got his feet all in a muddle. They've kept it alive. They've drawn it through. It's through the legs of Mikel. Salisbury are going to score, and they have scored. I'm not sure who got the final touch. The ball came in towards the back post. Zugar's asking for offside. It was Dawson. It was Dawson in the end who got on the end of it. And Weymouth, no sooner have they retaken their 2-goal advantage. Sort of mix up in the penalty area, some poor defending and some good capitalisation from Salisbury, and the lead's been halved again. Salisbury 2, Weymouth 3. Game on again. And all of a sudden the supporter was saying get them off the field, it's not safe, is telling Weymouth to get on with it. How ironic. Looked like it was possibly a foul in the centre circle. The referee says no though, and Salisbury come away with the ball, and as I say, all of a sudden a football match has broken out. 3-2, good game. Good advert for non-league football. Salisbury moving the ball. Oh, we're trying to move the ball up the left hand side. That was a loose pass. One that we haven't seen too much of from Salisbury in the second half. And Weymouth are going to have a throw in. I think they're going to make a substitution as well. I think manager Mark Mosley's not been overly happy with conceding that second goal. The change is going to be, I think it's going to be Baker coming on for Murray. The goal scorer, the third goal. Or is that going to not just yet. I think he's just changed his mind now, the gaffer. So, Salisbury move the ball out towards the right-hand side. Lodge up towards the edge of the 18. Brooks gets there ahead of his man, heads clear, and then he manages to get back into position, take on his chest and hook clear again. Good work from Calvin Brooks. Salisbury going to have to make do with the throw-in. Ben Thompson just getting some instruction now for the gaffer. Salisbury fans trying to get behind their team. Again, Salisbury patient build-up. Weymouth doing a good job of not leaving too many gaps in behind. But Salisbury have it in the centre circle. That's not where they need the ball at the moment. The ball out towards the wing and hugging the right touchline for Salisbury, taking his chest well, then turn around the corner. 3 Weymouth players in the good vicinity though, and they've turned it up towards the byline. Is he going to keep that in? He is. Good work. And again, he's going to lay it off. There's an opportunity to put the ball in the box, and it is, and it's headed towards the back post. Weymouth living dangerously at the back. Salisbury desperate to get back into this game. They've fed it in towards the 6-yard box, and again it's scrappy, and the ball's in the back of the net, and it's Dawson again, and Salisbury have turned this game right on its head from 3-1 down to 3-3. Unbelievable scenes here in Salisbury, and Weymouth are going to be absolutely kicking themselves. 2 goals in 2 minutes for Salisbury, and we are all square. It's Salisbury 3, Weymouth 3. And you just could 5-6 minutes ago, you just couldn't see this happening. You just couldn't see this happening. Salisbury were working really, really hard, but as soon as that 3rd goal went in for Weymouth, you thought they were going to be comfortable. In fact, they are going to make that change I mentioned just a second ago, with Baker coming on to replace Cam Murray. But Weymouth were looking comfortable, and it's 2 scrappy goals they've conceded. Salisbury, their tails must be up now. They must be going to go and try and win this game. 3-3. What a game. Here is Baker. He's going to come on. His first involvement's going to be to get the game back underway. And now this is up for grabs. This is anybody's game. 3-3. Back underway. Wakefield moves it out towards Ngala, and then back to Wakefield. Loose ball, a big 50-50 in the middle there, and then a second one, but it's launched over the top. The referee wasn't happy with how that tackle was made, so he's given a free kick. And Weymouth now have a free kick on halfway. They'd lost possession of the football, so the referee did try and play advantage. He's going to go into the book here for that challenge. The first one was pretty heavy. The second one was even worse. He didn't make any contact though. I think the referee's just telling him to keep his studs down and keep his, especially in these conditions as well, incidentally, to keep his composure. And he knows he's going to be saying, he knows that you want to get back into this goal, you want to get ahead in this game, but that's not the way to do it. Weymouth have a free kick. I just wonder if you'd ask the Weymouth supporters before the game whether or not they'd be happy with a point. I think they probably would have been. At 2-0 and then 3-1 up, I don't think they would have been happy with a point themselves. Weymouth will have to try and dig themselves out of a hole. They've gone short with the free kick in the Weymouths. Eventually gone long up towards the edge of the area, flicked around the corner. Baggy's going to try and get on the end of it. Does really well to keep the ball in play. Being stood up by the defender though, he creates half a yard. He delivers it up in the air. The goalkeeper comes out. There's a bit of a mix-up in there. Baker scores! Harry Baker, he's just come on as a substitute. The supporters are going mad behind the goal, and as I was just saying, the Weymouth have got to dig themselves out of a hole. Up pops Harry Baker. Salisbury 3, Weymouth 4. This game has gone absolutely mad in the past 11 or 12 minutes. 2-0 at half-time to Weymouth. It's now Salisbury 3, Weymouth 4. What a football game we have had here in Salisbury. A bit of gamesmanship from Stefan Zuber, who's just trying to keep the ball away from going back towards the centre circle for the restart. But Harry Baker, how to make yourself a hero. Not been off the substitute bench longer than 3 minutes. And he pops up with what could be a vital, vital winning goal for Weymouth here in this huge game in the Southern Premier League. But can Weymouth hold on this time? That is the question. And as Salisbury do get us back underway, I can hear some of the Salisbury supporters not happy with the amount of time it took Weymouth players to get back into their half of play. Salisbury have a throw-in, taken quickly in towards the middle of the pitch. We know how resilient this Salisbury side are. In towards the edge of the 18-yard box, Zubar gets there first, hooks it clear, and it's going to be a throw-in. Salisbury very urgent to get the game back underway, as you can imagine. You can hear the Weymouth fans chanting Stefan Zubar's name. He really is a cult hero at Weymouth. Back towards the centre circle, Salisbury still coming again. They're going to keep coming, and Weymouth know they're going to keep coming. And this one launched up towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Zubar's arms were suspiciously placed in the Salisbury player's chest, but the referee sees it and says nothing. They're coming down the left-hand side again. Good tackle from Odebarde. It's bounced off of Odebarde though. It's going to be a Salisbury throw-in. Odebarde's not happy with that challenge, with that decision. Thrown to the feet of the lively Salisbury player, and again back towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Going to try and get a shot away. That one is suspicious of a penalty, and that one, my goodness, I think that could well have been a penalty kick for Salisbury. I'd like to see that one again, but it looks like the player went over two sets of legs and went over in the area. They're still coming though. They're trying to get the ball to the byline. This time it's going to run out of play for a goal kick though, and so the referee is going to answer some questions from the Salisbury City players here, because that very much looked like a foul to me. Weymouth may well have got away with one. The referee's not interested in having a conversation with the players though. He just moves himself away. The Salisbury City fans behind the goal are absolutely furious. Mikel launches the ball up and over halfway. Odebarde is going to try and keep it alive in midfield, and the referee this time has seen a foul on Yemi Odebarde and has given Weymouth a free kick on halfway, and a chance for Weymouth just to take a few precious seconds off the clock. The Weymouth fans behind the goal singing "Weymouth Till I Die." Their supporters really are terrific in the way they travel, and they've stood and they've sung in the rain. Incredible support for Weymouth. Flicked on, and now round into the corner. It's going to come back to Kelvin Brooks, is it? No, Brooks was going to be used as diversion. He turned it around the corner. I don't know what he'd seen there, but it's going to go straight into the arms of the Salisbury City goalkeeper. Zubar wins the ball in the air, and it's hooked back towards the Salisbury half, and now there could be a chance for Thompson to bear down on goal. He's heading towards the corner. I think he's going to be content to just keep it there. We know how strong Ben Thompson is. And he's still tussling, he's still got the ball, and he's still managed to come away with it, Ben Thompson. And then is he bundled over? No, the referee and linesman both said it was fair, and it looked like a fair challenge. Brooks cuts out the clearance, and he skips past a couple of challenges, and he nutmegs one player, but he's done one too many, and the Salisbury have a potential gap in the right back position of Weymouth to exploit. Odebarde comes in, holds the play up, and then tucks in for Kelvin Brooks. Really, really good work from Yemi Odebarde. Excellent positional work from Weymouth, and Salisbury tries to switch the ball out to the right hand side, and it just bounces over the head of the Salisbury player and out for a throw, and Weymouth are going to make their final substitution of the day, and I think it's going to be Yemi Odebarde to make way for Mr. Weymouth, Ashley Wells. It's going to be Wells on for Odebarde. Weymouth not going to be in a hurry to make this substitution. And the referee's just had to go back to Yemi Odebarde and just gee him on a little bit. Yemi Odebarde was just clapping the away support, so he was just feeling his hamstring. He really is making a meal of going off the field to play there, Yemi Odebarde. I think the referee has just reminded him of his responsibilities, and Ashley Wells comes on to replace him.
Ashley Wells.
The throw-in eventually comes in, it's flicked up back up in the air. I think it's going to run out of play, and it's going to be a Salisbury throw. As to enter, we're very close to entering added time at the end of this game, and Salisbury are looking for a chance to get themselves back into this game again. Launched long, this time headed up in the air. The rain now is really pouring down. Weymouth put clear over the corner. There's a bit of a chase on, but I think that's going to be too far ahead of him. It is, and it's going to fall through to the goalkeeper, who's trying to get Salisbury moving again. Left footed up the line. Good positioning though, and it's well cleared, and it falls down the line. And there's a bit of a coming together there. I think it was more of a slip. The Weymouth fans are absolutely furious. I didn't really see what had happened there. I think the Salisbury player was a little bit too impetuous to get back in. The Weymouth fans are fuming behind that goal. It's going to be a card to come out. The referee and the linesman was right on top of him. The referee's just consulting with him. And there's going to be 6 minutes added on at the end of this game. 6 minutes for Weymouth to hold on. And the rain coming down on those supporters behind the goal. As you can see there's a good shot of that here. There was no covering on that way in whatsoever. And the Weymouth fans, they've sung all afternoon as they always do. Such terrific support for Weymouth. They follow them everywhere. Loyal support, and that's every section of the support, incidentally. Weymouth holding the ball in the corner. They've got to throw in. Nobody's going to be too eager to commit themselves forward. They're just taking their time with the throw in, and eventually I think he stepped over the line. Or is he going to be booked for time wasting? I think Ashley Wells is going to go in the book for time wasting. He's only been on the field 2 minutes or so. I thought he stepped over the line incidentally. The referee could have given a foul throw there. But what that does is just eat a few seconds off the clock. He's booked the player and then given the ball back to take another throw. And Ashley Wells eventually does throw into the corner, but they can't control it. I think it was Thompson there, couldn't control it. And it bounces off his foot and goes out for a goal kick. And a few seconds have come off the clock. Salisbury looking to get on with it quickly. Launched up towards halfway, poor ball though, and then a poor clearance from Weymouth. So Salisbury have it again, but they've got it in the wrong area of the field as far as they're concerned. They're still trying to get back into this football match. Launched into the channel, that's a good ball. The Weymouth player is going to come across and he's got no choice but to boot it out, and it's going to be a throw in deep in Weymouth territory. Salisbury getting on with it quickly down towards the feet and then back towards the throw taker. It goes one way and the other, and then a first time cross into the box, headed clear, almost clear, and then possibly a foul there. Looked as if he'd led into him and Garlow. The referee was looking again. Rayaz says no. Launched up towards Thompson. Thompson skips past the Salisbury player, then he goes down. Did he just lose his footing according to the referee? That says yes. So Salisbury still have the ball, long diagonal. McHale's going to have to come out, and he almost run underneath the ball there. Good judgment though from Tom McHale, and he can just take a little bit of sting out of the game, let his team settle down. And he's thrown the ball out to touch. I think there is a Weymouth player down, just possibly receiving treatment. So it is going to be a Salisbury City throw-in. No treatment needed for the Weymouth player though, so we're going to give the ball back. They're not going to give the ball back, they're going to keep playing. Weymouth fans not overly happy about that. The cross was poor though, it was easily blocked. And launched in towards Thompson. Thompson, can he turn it around the corner? I think he's just interested in keeping hold of the ball. And as I say that, he decides to move forward when the Salisbury player was really lapsed and coming to the ball. Don't think he expected it to hold up in the wet surface as much as it did, and he just about got away with it. Launched again, over the top, and there's a chase on, and he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and McHale comes out and gathers it. Excellent work from Tom McHale. It looked as if there were 3 Salisbury players bearing down on goal there, and that Weymouth's hearts were in their mouths, but Tom McHale judged the flight of the ball absolutely perfectly, and he comes on out and gathers it. Really good goalkeeping from McHale. Launched long and headed back towards the touchline. Salisbury as I said to you, they will not stop coming. Launched up in the air, headed clear from Weymouth, headed clear a second time. Thompson's going to get on the end of that, and it's Thompson, I should imagine, is going to head towards the corner as quickly as possible. And that's exactly where he's going, Ben Thompson, in towards the corner. He's just going to hold the ball down there as best he can. He's been put under pressure, but he manages to turn away from it, and he finds his Baggy. Baggy's fouled, is he? Yes, he is, says the referee, and Weymouth have a free kick. Really good work from those two down the left-hand side, Baggy and Thompson. He will eventually get back on with the free kick, and they're just happy to keep the ball. Again, as I say that, they gave it away, and then Salisbury laps again in possession, and Weymouth managed to nick it back. And then slightly heavy touch from initially, and then Ashley Wells gets the ball, he's fouled, and Weymouth have another free kick, and they're doing a really, really good job of just running the clock down here, the Terrors. There is not long left now at all. And what has been an excellent afternoon's work for Weymouth, and it's been a really, really good game of football. Two very competitive, very good footballing sides. Excellent advert for the league and for non-league in general. And Weymouth can't make anything of this free kick this time. They can't hold the ball in the corner, and the goalkeeper's going to have another chance to launch it very, very long and try and get Salisbury going. He does, get it over halfway, turned round the corner, then flicked on and falls to a white shirt, and it's worked out towards the channel. Weymouth have to defend this if they want to come away with 3 points today. He goes out towards the outside, gets on the left foot, there's a good ball in towards the area, straight into the chest of Tom McHale, and Tom McHale throws himself down onto his stomach, holds onto the ball, and that should be that this afternoon. I should imagine as soon as McHale launches the ball, the final whistle will go. McHale's taking his time, he does put it up in the air, and there is the final whistle, and Weymouth have had to work hard for it in the end, but they are coming away from Salisbury with 3 points this afternoon, and it was excellent, excellent work in the end. They led twice by 2 after Goodship and Wakefield managed to get their team in front, and then Salisbury came back with a penalty scored by Hopper, and then instantly Cameron Murray put Weymouth 3-1 ahead, and then a quick fire double from the Salisbury City player, I've forgotten the guy's name, Dawson. A quick fire double made it 3-3, and Weymouth looked on the ropes, but then substitute Harry Baker popped up after excellent work down the right hand side to get Weymouth back in front. They had a nervy 6 minutes to hold on to at the end of added time, but in the end they come away from Salisbury with all 3 points. It was Salisbury 3, Weymouth 4.
Goal to Weymouth in the 16th minute. Number 10, Brian Goodship. In the 26th minute, a goal for Weymouth. Number 8, Joshua Wakefield. Substitution for Weymouth in the 62nd minute. Coming off number 10, Brandon Goodship, being replaced by number 15, Joshua Carmichael. In the 76th minute, number 7, Cameron Murray. Game on, I think. In the 82nd minute, a substitution for Weymouth. Now, number 7, Cameron Murray coming off, in replaced by 14,